I challenge myself daily, figuring out different ways of inspiration and motivation to keep myself in a forward motion, but sometimes it's like my head just keeps telling me these random thoughts. So they pop up. And in a moment of comprehension, I try to apply these things to myself to figure out exactly what it is my future looks like. I mean, these words just come out of random. Sometimes I hear the word
Conductor.
and wondering to myself, how exactly is my life being conducted? Am I really orchestrating a plot and a plan that puts together a strategic elaboration of moments to make sure that the destiny is reached? Or am I merely just a pawn, subdued under someone else's authority to get to where the level that they want me to be while totally ignoring myself? Either way, someone's being conducted, but sometimes I can't tell if I am the conducted or the conductor. And it kills me. Then my mind will tell me something like,
Trap.
to figure out if it's a maze, a cage, or some form of obstacle I have to get past. You see, when the boxes start closing in and nobody's watching, you see the walls begin to get a little bit thicker and thinner at the same time. Ask me how? Because when everything is closing in on you, the size of it doesn't matter. It's the impact that's going to be there as it's boxing you in. But somehow within this trap, I still have to find that moment of clarity where I can escape these random thoughts of mine and put myself in forward focus. Otherwise, I'll just be trapped in a vision of my own illusion of what possibly could be, and I just thought about it the first time. And then I hear something crazy like,
Pebble.
wow. And I ask myself, is that just me being minuscule, having no impact? Like when a pebble gets thrown into an ocean of water, do I really make a splash? Or am I meant to be that pebble that skips the waters, meaning over every obstacle I can jump, hop past, and move on forward? And though eventually my number one goal is to get to the other side, I have to accept the fact that either I'm going to fall or I'm going to make a wave with no one even noticing. Because when a pebble skips over an ocean, sometimes no one's really listening. And then I'll hear something crazy like,
Dinosaur.
asking myself, are my thoughts prehistoric? Are they extinct with no actual value or meaning? When people look at my timeline, will they remember me for the impact that I had? Or will I just disappear like the bones of the Tyrannosaurus Rex? Is it possible that maybe for one moment in time I could have been ferocious and could have been very, very aggressive in chasing and achieving all my goals and dreams, but only to be withered away and figure that I'm nothing more than just an afterthought? Because when you think about it, a dinosaur only has but a little bit of time to excel. And since most people don't believe that dinosaurs existed anyway, truth be told, that means that I really wasn't here to begin with in my critics' minds. Then I'll hear something real crazy like,
Punishment.
asking myself, what have I done to myself here? Is it possible that I myself am the own victim of my own thoughts and imagination? Could it possibly be that instead of freeing myself to explore the numerous avenues of creativity and growth that only takes a moment of time to develop once you take note that the need is actually there? Or am I the one still giving myself the hardest time? Am I grounding my ability to grow? Am I putting on lockdown my ability to see further? Am I possibly penitentiary 24/7 locking down my potential? Or maybe I am already unlocking my potential, but rather ball and chain it to tell myself that I can't move forward, because when you're under the punishment, something about the situation is always going to be wrong, even if you didn't do anything to deserve it. So what do? I sit back and I think, and hopefully a word of clarity may come to me. But of course my mind will say something like,
Saw.
meaning that there's very many hedges and woods that I must get through, which symbolizes nothing more than barriers, because sometimes you just have to keep pushing forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, in the hopes that you're actually making a dent, because a saw's intention is to break something in half. But if I take something like my creativity and break it in half, then did I really grow or did I minimize? See, these are the things that plague me when I'm thinking. These are the things that run through my mind. And all these random words come together, and sometimes I'm just left clueless. I'll even hear something like,
Library.
thinking to myself, what happens when I'm on the shelf and people want to read about my legacy? What book will they look to? Will they go to the beginning chapters where I first was raw and a rookie and had no direction? Or maybe they'll go to the point where I started to shine and read those books of triumph and overcome? Or will they sink back into the forms of books of where I just gave up and said forget everything and decided to live life on my own terms? In other words, how will they shelve me? Will I be a captivating drama? Will I be a wonderful display of action? Maybe a heightened form of drama? Or maybe just a form of fiction? I ask myself, what am I thinking? And sometimes I just don't know.